You're listening to Hawk Talk with former Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus. Powered by Seahawks.com. Now, here's your host, Nasser Kyobe.
Welcome into another edition of Hawk Talk. Your Seattle Seahawks, Super Bowl 60 champions, Bump.
Yes, sir.
Second time in team history. It's been a little while. Me and Bump haven't been able to get together, but we had to chop it up for this. One last time. Seahawks win the Super Bowl. And Bump, the last couple weeks to me have just been an absolute blur. Mm-hmm. Going from when we were sitting here after the NFC Championship game to Super Bowl week to everything that went into that, going to Levi Stadium, home of the 49ers, taking that thing on their field, everything that went into it. What was your favorite part of Super Bowl week?
Man, it was a lot. I was down there for about a full week. You know what I mean? Even did my show on Monday, the following Monday from there. But I would say, man, my favorite thing about it is honestly just being with the squad, being with you, Big Ray, Paul, Dave, B. Walt, Raves, Jen, OC. I mean, everybody, all the people that we see on a daily, because we know what the grind is like for us. And we just got to be there and witness it. And we knew they were going to win this ball game. We knew we were going to win it. It was just how are they going to win it and when we're going to be able to celebrate. So just being with y'all and just watching the clocks hit triple zeros and watching these dudes celebrate.
Yeah, man, it's a real experience, honestly, for me, because it's been 10 years since I've worked for the team. And for it to come through the way it did in this moment in that stadium, man, unreal. The week was crazy. They were asking the players to do a lot of things from the league standpoint. Mm-hmm. They got to do an hour-long media session Monday through Thursday, everything going on. But one of the things I'll take away is each and every day when we were out there and being around the team, staying at the team hotel, it was like any other week. Yeah. Honest to God, it was like any other week we've ever had. Guys they're slap boxing, doing all the same things they normally do, or shadow boxing, and they were so loose. I saw the Patriots kind of look coming in that week, and it was just, that's their team. But I just looking at us, I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah. And every time I saw the D-line, I'm like, this might get ugly, Bump. This could get ugly, but it was.
It did get ugly for them, too.
And then, Bump, being a part of the parade, too, was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Very blessed that the Seahawks allowed us, the broadcast team, to be on one of those military vehicles, Bump, and it was, Seattle came through.
I've never seen that many people in my life. Ever in my life, man. That was fun. 12 showed up. It was the longest but quickest, hour and a half ride that I've had. Because when you're in it, it feels like it's happening in slow motion, but then when it's done, it's like, dang, that was quick, you know? Because you don't want it to end. The celebration was just fun, man.
No, that was once in a lifetime. That's kind of really when it sank in for me from a work perspective. I was kind of checked out. We got to sit there and enjoy it. So it was a dope thing. Again, Seahawks, Super Bowl 60 champions. But let's get into kind of what had happened. You know what happened, but a little bit behind the numbers.
See, what had happened was
on Hawk Talk.
Obviously, like I said, Bum, at this point, y'all know what happened. A couple weeks ago, Seahawks went down there, dominating defense, physical run game. They got contributions from everybody on the field, Bump. Here are a couple things that stuck out to me immediately. Mm-hmm. For one, this defensive unit had 54 tackles, 6 sacks, 8 TFLs, 11 quarterback hits, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, 2 interceptions. 1 was returned for a touchdown. This was a dominating defense. We knew the dark side would show up, and they did in a big way in Super Bowl.
Yeah, they did, man. Nice seeing Chenna get that pick six, too, man. He's been through a lot here, man, with injury and all that stuff. So that was good. Defense was on point. They had 6 sacks. They led to 2 turnovers and set the offense up for 14 points. Seattle's defense hit the ball carried behind the line of scrimmage on 53% of design rushes, according to Next Gen, while generating 52.8% pressure rate. Patriots drive chart from Super Bowl 60. Not impressive.
Laughable. I mean, after that first drive where they had 28 yards, Bump. The next, my goodness, 4 plays, 6 yards, punt. 3 plays, 5 yards, punt. 3 plays, -2, punt. 6 plays, 10 yards, punt. 1 yard and a half. 3 yards, 3 plays, 7 yards, punt. 3 plays, 9 yards, punt. 3 plays, 6 punt. Just on and on. Fumble, interception. It was a beat down. I'm low key though. I was bummed that it ended the way it did because they were so dominant. They could have had would have been the most dominant performance ever in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, they got some cheap ones at the end. Big up to Hollins. Hollins made a big play going across the middle and then scored a touchdown. We get that. But then that last drive, or second to last drive, that 65 yards they put together, you're playing cover 4 quarters. You're not trying to. You're not sending anybody. It was just, let's just make them catch the ball inbounds and run the clock. So, a little cheap, but it's all good.
Yeah, and just overall, though, you got to look at it. This team won 17 games, Bump. Are you kidding me? Postseason included. Franchise record for both regular season and wins in a season. Seahawks also set a franchise record for 8 road wins, 15-2 under Coach Mike McDonald. That is...
Don't lose in a row.
It's hard to think, Bump, back to the days when you were playing those 10 a.m. games.
Why you bring me into this?
I'm just saying, we've come a long way.
Yeah, man. It's we used to go on the road and just know we about to lose, dog. It's a different squad. They got 10 consecutive wins to close the season out. Like, I don't remember these guys losing. I mean, I remember because I look at the schedule. I know when it happened, but I don't feel like it feels like they haven't lost in such a long time, man. The Seahawks became the first Super Bowl champion to go throughout the entire postseason without a turnover. Outscored its opponent 104-46, recording 9 sacks and had +4 turnover differential. I like the turnover deal because that was the knock on Sam, right? He's got to turn the football over. When is he going to do it? He took care of the rock.
No question about it. I mean, he got to write his story. He got to finish his story, which I love for Sam. Obviously, we're going to talk about him and what he did in that Super Bowl game. But just Coach McDonald knows for throwing love. I mean, the most wins by a head coach under the age of 40 in a season, including playoffs in NFL history, with 17. Tied Jim Harbaugh and Steve Mariucci for the most wins by a head coach in his first 2 seasons with 27, and became the 9th head coach to win a Super Bowl within the first 2 seasons. 3rd youngest head coach to win a Super Bowl. So, Coach Mike, I mean, it's hard to – the bar is set so high. But, man, for him to do what they were able to do in 2 years is unreal.
It is, man. It's like you said, he set the bar high. And I would say let's see what he does next, but let's just chill and enjoy this for a little bit. The Seahawks Super Bowl 60 win set an all-time media record as 137.8 million viewers watched in the second quarter, making it the highest peak viewership in U.S. TV history. The game averaged about 124.9 million viewers on NBC, Peacock, Telemundo, NBC Sports Digital, and NFL Plus, based on official live plus same day Nielsen big all. Any metrics to measure this thing, they were setting records, man, and that was that's cool because a lot of people said that this Super Bowl is going to be boring or this and that. Why, you like defense? What's wrong? What's wrong with defense? Offense sells, but defense wins championships, and we saw that.
No, absolutely. I think I just love it because that many people got to see what me and you have seen all season. Going back to training camp, OTAs throughout the year, they got to see what this team was about, and they showed up in the biggest moment under the lights. Didn't matter. At Levi Stadium, got that thing done. We've learned a lot about this team, Bump, but what do you think stood out the most to you when you look back at this season as a whole? What's the number one thing you think that stood out to you if you had to choose one?
That's a tough one, man, because you can go offense, we can go there, but I think I'm going to stick with the defense, man. This is the most dominant defense I've covered with my own eyes, right? Obviously, I've worked for the Hawks for 8 years, do college football, but just the cohesiveness of this defense and the explosiveness is crazy. And you don't really appreciate it until it's all said and done. Like, in the moment, you get it. You look at the numbers, you see the players and all that stuff, and you're saying, all right, this defense is pretty good. But when it's all said and done, you sit back and you look at just the work, right? You step back from the painting, about 10 feet. I went to a museum while I was out in San Francisco. Mike Bennett invited us to a museum. And, my brain don't work that way. I'm like, oh, that looks cool.
Yeah.
But with the Seahawks defense, my eyes work that way. I take 10 steps back. I'm looking at the painting, and I'm like, that thing is beautiful. This defense was great.
There's just so many pieces, so many individual performances, so many guys that stepped up throughout the year to me. But, again, it's the idea that Coach McDonald was able to come in here with a message, with the way they want things to get done. And for all those guys to buy in, a lot of people make a big deal about whether you're here or not for OTAs in the summer program. And I think you could still win without going to, for that matter. That doesn't exclude you. But I think the fact that all these guys were in here, bought in together starting in April of last year, I don't think there's a chance in hell that they win the Super Bowl without that.
Right.
From start to finish, to have all those guys, the DeMarcus Lawrences of the world, Leonard Williams, all these people who've done it on a big level, Ernest Jones, Cooper Kupp, Super Bowl champions, to do it on this level together and for everyone to be bought in the entire season, I think that the results showed out. And it's cool to see when you have a vision and it comes to life, what it can actually happen in just 2 short years. So pretty damn cool. But let's get into it from Super Bowl 60 specifically. If I could speak, let's get into some playmakers.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Playmakers.
Show them what time it is. Holy catfish!
He was the Super Bowl MVP, Ken Walker. 27 carries, 135 yards, 2 receptions, 26 yards. First running back to win that award in 28 years, Bump. And I don't want to talk about the future or anything like that.
Who's the last one? Terrell Davis?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Again, we want to talk about looking at this whole thing, taking 10 steps back. We talked ad nauseum about the Seahawks run game from last year to this year. Even in the beginning of this year, there was times where people were like, man, Ken Walker shouldn't be here. The Seahawks should trade him. I don't know if he can work in this system, blah, blah. And then it was back and forth. 1 week it was Charbonnet. 1 week it was Ken Walker. after all that happened, to finish the season the way those guys did and for Ken to do it in that game, so happy for the guy.
Yeah, man, it was only right that he finished the season the way that he did, because in the playoffs and then a couple games, 3 games before the playoffs, he was finding his stride. He was finding his groove, man. And the run of the year, right? I don't care about the other longest runs of the year by other players. Yeah. When he broke the ankles of that Rams linebacker in the A-gap, Hank, that's when I said to myself, oh, he's feeling it right now. You don't make that move if you're not feeling yourself and understanding what's going on. So, yes, the run game took this offense to another level. And it helped this man ball out. Sam Darnold was 19 of 38, 202 yards and 1 touchdown in the Super Bowl. He made some big plays. He avoided some sacks. My favorite player of him wasn't even a pass. Is when he tucked it, he ran it, made a guy miss, picked up the first down. It's like, be responsible with the football, man. So, yeah, he did a lot of good stuff, man. If he makes 2 throws to JSN, man, we're probably talking about him being MVP. JSN was wide open, overthrew him a little bit. But he tied Brett Favre and Patrick Mahomes for 4th place for the most wins in consecutive seasons, including playoffs, with 31. He became the 4th quarterback ever to win the Super Bowl in his first season with the team. And over 3 playoff games with Sam, man, you're 3-0. You average 224 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, passer rating at 104.2. Sam, talk your stuff. You did that. Monkeys off your back. Happy for that dude.
No, love. He got to go to Disneyland, got to do all the things after. He is just such a better man than I am, because there's no way I could be that humble still. At least by the Super Bowl celebration, I've been like, all right, I'm going to start calling people out by name. Yeah. You didn't? No. But Sam, that's just who he is, and that's why the Seahawks are there. So I love it for that man. And then Cooper Kupp. 6 receptions, 61 yards, led the Seahawks in receiving, became the first player in NFL history to lead 2 franchises in receiving yards in the Super Bowl. I thought that part was cool. His leadership, his everything about Cooper Kupp that was not in the box score. And the numbers he put in the box score were good. Yep. He played with the Offensive Player of the Year in Jason, and he balled out all year. I just love the leadership he brought. We'll talk about some of the intangibles when we get into our film breakdown here in a second, but love what we saw from Cooper Kupp. Felt like he was discarded from the Rams after a phenomenal, potentially Hall of Fame career there. Comes to Seattle, first year, gets it done. Love to see it.
He's just a common presence out there. He's super calm, right? Nothing, never rattled, and we're going to talk about him being calm and not rattled here in a little bit. A.J. Barner, 4 receptions, 54 yards, 1 touchdown. The touchdown almost never happened, right? Cooper Kupp heard the play differently or wrong in the huddle, and he runs the wrong route, had to adjust last minute. We're going to break that play down. But A.J. has stepped into his own, man. He has probably the biggest personality on this team. If you don't know about AJ, just Google him, watch him at the parade. My man has this confidence about him that I think this team needs, and I think he could be one of the best tight ends in the game. We're just going to get unlocked. You got a new tight end, OC here in Fleury, who was a tight ends guy. Maybe he can unlock him as well. But AJ, it's been fun watching him really embrace his role in this team. He does the dirty work. He's a good blocker. He got hands. He can catch the rock. And he's like kind of the mouthpiece on offense, too. He will talk to you and let you know what's going on.
Yeah, he's kind of the heart and soul. I mean, I love what we saw, obviously, the celebration, the parade. He's got his fur cut up there, his barnyard, the run and his dance afterwards, all the things that we saw from AJ. And he's just a dog, and I didn't see it coming. I knew he was a good football player, but to get to where he's at, and he's going to be, as you said, one of the best tight ends in the game for a long time. Love what we saw from A.J. Barner. Then defensively, Derek Hall, 2 sacks, 2 tackles, 2 TFLs, 2 quarterback hits, a forced fumble. He could have been the MVP if things flipped a little bit differently. He played that well. Byron Murphy, 2 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 TFLs, 2 QB hits. This dark side defense at front 7 was relentless.
And this dude could have been MVP himself, man. Spoon, 4 tackles, 1 sack, 1 TFL, 3 quarterback hits. He was everywhere. Chindawoso had a pass defending, 1 QB hit, an interception, return to the house, baby, 45 yards, and then Ernest Jones. Man, Ernest is the youngest old man I've ever met in my life. Like, his soul is of a 45-year-old, but his body is of a 26-year-old. He had 11 tackles, 10 solo, 1 TFL. Ernest with his 2nd ring.
I mean, so many guys played roles on this team to get them where they got to, winning the Super Bowl. And Bump, we're going to get into our new offensive coordinator, a couple other things before we get out of this podcast, but we could not leave you hanging here. One last film breakdown of some of the biggest plays from Super Bowl 60. We'll start with Sam Darnold finding A.J. Barner for that 16-yard touchdown.
Alani in the backfield now. Play fake to him. Sam stops, looks, throws, got a man wide open. Touchdown, Seahawks! It is A.J. Barner. He could not wait to get out of that hotel. Talked to him yesterday. He said, I got to go hit somebody. A.J., how about catching a touchdown, too? He does from 16 out, his 4th. A.J. Barner on a perfect pass. Darnold, we have seen him throw that before.
All right, so typically I leave this thing off, but you got some insight on this. So you go ahead and do your thing with this one.
Okay, so Cooper Kupp was sitting in this exact chair. He joined the New Heights podcast right after the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, and he had a little bit of intel on this play. It looks like a normal play. It worked. A.J. Barner runs a little corner, touchdown. But apparently there was an issue with the wristband. The formation was backwards for what the play call was. So that's why Shaheed and Cooper Kupp start on the same side. Shaheed has to motion to the other side, and on the fly, you want to talk about presence of mind. Cooper Kupp saw that A.J. Barner was going to run a route right into him. On the fly, he changed it up. He went from running a backside basic to a post in order to not run straight into A.J. Barner. Cleans it up. Mind you, JSN is on the sideline in concussion protocol. That might have played a role into all this. But, Bump, you're a receiver. To clean that up on the fly, it's unreal. That is unreal presence of mind from number 10, Cooper Kupp.
It's impressive, man, because route concepts are all about spacing. And he felt the spacing was off. All right. So I know in his mind, he goes, I know what AJ is going to do. I'm just going to take my guy the complete other direction to make sure he's good to go. What I like about this concept right here too, I saw the Rams do it as well. Like typically when you motion your tight end, you want to get them outside the furthest guy on the line of scrimmage. They got these guys releasing up that C gap now because there's a tight end there. I saw the Rams do it. I also saw the Niners do it as well. This is stresses out a defense. It looks like these guys are in like a cover 3, I want to say, maybe manned up backside zone on one side. But it just confuses the defense. You see a backer flow with the running back, notices that's a play action. He's trying to drop back into the flat, and it's just too late, man. So what's crazy too is the scissors concept and my option is exactly what those two did. Like one over the top, one underneath. Like it. So when you said why scissors, I go, well, my offense, we would call what they did scissors anyway. But no, man, this is players making the coaches right. And sometimes you're gonna have to need players to make you right. You're gonna call the wrong play. Something's gonna be jacked up. Count on your vets to make you right. That's what happened here.
Well, you know this more than anyone. In an NFL playbook, how easy would it be to accidentally tag one extra thing or the wrong thing or backwards or someone comes out, he doesn't usually run it from this side. Just a presence of mind. I love it from that. And you mentioned A.J. Barner just getting through the mess because a lot of times, too, you get caught up, you get grabbed, you get tripped up, you don't get to where you're supposed to go. Great protection as well. Sam had late pressure. Makes a great play, stays in there, flings it down to A.J. Barner for a touchdown in the Super Bowl. All right, the next play we're going to look at, this is Drake May getting hit by Devin Witherspoon, popping into Uchenna Nwosu, running it back for a touchdown.
1st and 10 at the Seattle 44. Here comes the blitz. May hit as he tries to throw. Ball comes out, going the other way with it. Turning upfield, it's Uchenna Nwosu, and he scores. Touchdown, Seahawks. The Seahawks defense, they have done it again. Drake May tried to throw. He gets hammered. Nwosu comes up with the ball. He was my pick for defensive MVP in this game, and he takes that ball the distance.
Man, I love this. This is where Leo comes into play, and no one really notices it right here. All right, so Leo's lined up in that one tech in between the center and your guard. And he's just slanting across the formation, right? He's going to slant across the center's face. He's going to pull that guard with him. All right, so what that does is it allows one-on-one matchups. You have Uchenna Nwosu rushing off the edge. He's going to take care of the tackle. And you have Ernest Jones blitzing up the B gap. He's going to take care of the running back. Like if they were to do this correctly, right? If that guard didn't lose or didn't have so much attention on Leo, he would have slid. He would have helped out over there and would have clogged up the blitzing lane that Witherspoon has going up the C gap. So it's just you're overwhelming, right? You're pulling guys with you with Leonard, and then you're overwhelming the left side when it comes to numbers. So Ernest Jones takes care of the running back, which then takes care of the tackle. You got Leo who pulls the guard and the center with them. Now Spoon, just being the little firecracker that he is, gets to the quarterback, hits him as he throws. Uchenna has a gift. Congratulations, you scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you want to talk about overwhelming one side because they have enough guys to block this.
Yeah,
Seahawks bring 5; they have 6 in protection. I love Witherspoon when you blitz from depth like that, and just look at the timing. I mean, 1-2, boom, and he's running full speed now. And obviously, the running back takes Ernest Jones, like you said, but they just overwhelm that gap, and it's a wrap. And honestly, Chenna, a great rush, but as a non-skill guy, I mean, I guess technically he's a linebacker in that system, but someone who's normally hand in the ground.
Yeah.
Pretty athletic play because, if you got brick hands, that ball pops up, you bat it around, maybe eventually catch it, you fall down. But for him to make it in stride, it was such a clean play bump from our broadcast booth. Me and you didn't even know it was intercepted.
No, that was a fumble.
Looked like a fumble because of whatever happened. And honestly, that could have also tilted the MVP vote. If that goes down as a forced fumble for Witherspoon, that might change what the voting was. But anyway, hell of a play. And it's teach tape. That's how you blitz. That's how you hit the arm. Everyone did what they're supposed to do. You overwhelm it. And Coach McDonald talked about after the game, a lot of times it looked to the naked eye like those were all the same blitzes. They weren't. Yeah. He said he only called a couple of those more than once. So they were just, again, exotic. Both guards eventually on that play didn't block anybody.
Yep.
For the most of the game, they didn't know who was rushing, where to protect, and that's Coach McDonald, the genius, as we've always known him to be, getting it done in the Super Bowl. Love to see that. But we do have some news, or we have had some news recently. The Seahawks do have a new offensive coordinator. What's on tap?
What's on tap?
Clint Kubiak, shout out to Clint Kubiak. He did his thing.
Appreciate
1 year
you,
in
dog.
Seattle, had a hell of an offense, one of the best ones in team history, helped the Seahawks win a Super Bowl. Now he's down there coaching the Las Vegas Raiders, so best of luck to him there. Entering Brian Fleury. He comes from San Francisco, where he held the title of run game coordinator as well as tight ends coach. Fleury has some overlap, though, with Kubiak because he coached with Kubiak as well as Sam Darnold in San Francisco, which I think will be huge. You'd imagine he's going to try to do some of those same things. Fleury, a little background on him, former quarterback from University of Maryland in Townsend, began his coaching career as a grad assistant at Maryland in 2003 after a decade in the college ranks. He began his NFL coaching career as quality control with the Bills in 2013, and he brings a diverse background, having coached linebackers, outside linebackers with the Browns before coming in defensive quality control and then switching to offense. But doing that in the National Football League is unreal to me.
Yeah, that's great. And I think that's probably what gave him the edge over the other candidates, honestly. It's like, look, I know defense, I play defense, I coach defense, and now I'm over here on the offensive side. I can tell my guys exactly what a defense is trying to do, what they're trying to take away. I think offensive coaches can do it too, but it's a bit different when you've coached on that side of the football. And he's a run game coordinator. We know Mike wants to run the football, and he worked with the tight ends. We know Mike wants to get the tight ends involved. So it's like, at first I was like, who is this guy, Brian Fleury? And then I looked him up, resume, and on paper I go, yeah, that makes sense for a Coach McDonald team.
Yeah, no question about it. In his introductory press conference last week, he described what he wants this offense to look like.
It looks very similar to the one that just won the Super Bowl. It's more about how you play than what you actually are doing schematically. We're going to be fast and violent and aggressive in every way that we possibly can, put pressure on defenses, both schematically and from a tempo standpoint, and just always have that type of mindset.
Bump, you had the chance to talk with Coach right after his press conference. He hopped on with you and Bump and Stacy show. What were your impressions of him when you talked to him?
I liked him, man. Said he's going to be violent. Football is violent.
Yes, it is.
It must be violent. And he comes from a family of teachers, too. He says he loves to teach. And I think that's the main thing. I think that's one of the strengths of this coaching staff in general, is that everybody here is a teacher. I love that he played both sides of the football. We can talk defense. We can talk offense. I love that he understands the box on another level. I think that I always encourage people, learn as much as you can about the box. If you learn the box, the game's going to just look completely different for you. And he seems like a confident leader. I know people are like, well, he's never done this before. All right, well, he's been in San Francisco for 7 years under Shanahan. He's going to learn. He's been on the headset. He understands. Will there be some bumps in the road? Of course. There's bumps in the road for guys who've done this for a decade plus.
Right.
So, no, I'm excited, man. I think that it's always nice when you can pull one from the ops, too. You know, the 49ers, we'll take a run game coordinator, give an opportunity here. But, no, he has a plan. He's not going to deviate too far from what we did last year. He is going to make it his own. But I think the proof is in the pudding. Like, this offense works. And now he just got to sprinkle his own little sauce on there.
Yeah, no, I love continuity. Like you said, establishing what we've already gotten going. And when people want to talk, he hasn't done it before. Mike McDonald wasn't a head coach before either.
Yeah.
2 years later, he's a Super Bowl champion. I mean, I'm confident. And here's Bump, honestly, all I need to know are these things. For one, I trust in John Schneider and Mike McDonald. Anything that they want to do, I'm going to get on board with. Yeah,
trust.
Exactly. Well, and they did not miss.
No.
They did not miss. And beyond that, if Mike McDonald's bringing you in here, the three things are true. You love ball, you know ball, and you can teach ball.
Yep.
He talks about all the time about being a force multiplier, being a teacher, and that's what he cares about. So if you're hired on this staff, those 3 things are true about you, you're going to be just fine.
Yep. Gonna be good.
You're going to be just fine. Looking ahead, though, Bump, the rest of the offseason, the Combine actually started today. It's going to go through March 2nd. Workouts don't begin till Thursday. You got free agency coming up March 11th. Then you got the phase 1 of the offseason, NFL draft, April 23rd through 26th. Rookie minicamp, usually the next weekend. OTAs, mandatory minicamp mid-June. Players have time off. And before you know it, back in July for training camp, which is going to be crazy, Bump. This offseason is already going by fast because this time last year, the Seahawks were done for over a month.
Oh, wow. Kicking it.
Well over a month, right? Now you have 2 weeks off. You're at the Combine. It's going to go crazy. And you're going to have to start camp a little bit earlier than you normally do. You know why? Because you're going to kick off the season on a Thursday night. I know there's some talk about some other games, but either way, you're going to be one of those early games. So, like, future me is going to be like, damn, we're going to lose about 4 days of summer. But it's all good. The Seahawks are going to be playing, Bump, and I'm excited. I mean, there's obviously free agents that need to be signed, things that need to be done. But for me, because I'm not John Schneider or Mike McDonald, I can just bask in this glory.
Yeah,
bro.
bask in it, baby. Come on.
It's been Bump, it's been a fun year. Obviously, we've been doing this thing. It's the first year we've been able to cover a team this successful, but it's been fun. I appreciate everyone who has listened or watched our show all season long. It's been a really fun. We've had an amazing time. Big shout out to production, Leif Lightington. He is one of the best to do it. He edits his podcast every single week. He does the film breakdowns. I appreciate him. He does insiders. Does a lot of things for this operation, Bumps Game Preview. Yeah. So shout out Leif. You've been killing it all season long.
Making me look good, brother.
Come on now.
You. You made me some M's, dog. Not some M's, maybe some fouls.
Looking crispy, though. In the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, anyway, it's been really fun. Appreciate y'all listening. We will probably jump back in periodically throughout the offseason. Your boy's got some leave. He's going to be taking that. And we'll be back here getting ready for the draft. Seahawks, Super Bowl 60 champions. Love it, Seattle. Enjoy it. We'll be with you next time.